Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is JessiMilestone. I am your God Empress, and I am back from the dead, rocking my Debbie from the Wild Thornberries hairstyle. And if you don't get that reference, I'm very sorry. You did not get to be a kid in the late 90s. But that is not the point of today's video. The point of today's video is I was wrong. I was wrong about the whole world. I was wrong about everything. I was wrong about all of it. Guys, if you know me, you know that I am, or at least was, very fond about yelling about the things that I believe in. And that, folks, hasn't changed. I'm still very into yelling about the things that I believe about. But the things I believe about have shifted, and somewhat radically, since the last time you might have heard me yelling things at you. And so much so, and they keep things, it was a year, it was a down, it was an up, and lots of things in between, and lots of changes, shifting relationships ending. Actually, I was kind of ready to make this video last November-ish, and then somebody who is not in my life anymore advised me very, very strongly to wait to make this video because unforeseen changes. I don't think she saw that one coming, or the fact that I am now married. I didn't see that one coming either. Woo! That's wild. But goddamn, if I hadn't become the person that I've become over this past year, that would not have happened. This is how life works. You figure the shit out, you figure your shit out, you do your shit, and then life. So I'm here to tell you all of my secrets for how my entire life got upended, fell into the toilet, and then was turned into magic and happiness and joy at the end. So that starts with, again, this shift in what I believe. I used to believe very strongly in pointing out to everybody how they were wrong about pretty much everything, which, they usually are. I thought it was very important for me to tell other people how to be, how to think, what to do, all of these things. And now I've realized that I don't. It's not important. I don't care. I really don't actually give a flying fuck what most people are doing at any given moment. I really start caring. The point when I start caring is when it has an impact on me. Whether that's in a broader sense, it damages the reality that I live in or want to live in, or in a more personal sense, if somebody is actually doing something harmful to me, then of course, then I care. But beyond that, so what? And here's the thing, here's the honest to God thing about it. There are lots of people doing bad things right now out in the world that I can't be bothered to care about because I don't know about them, and I never will. And so it's really not doing me or my life any good to just sit here worrying about all of those bad things that are probably happening that I am still not going to do anything about, even if I find out that they are happening. That sounds like a really quick way to misery. Yeah, it turns out that worrying about what other people are doing and not worrying about what you're doing is almost always a very quick way to misery. Why? Well, one, because they're doing it, not you. Two, because they're not living in the same reality that you are. They're not living by the same rules that govern your existence. And so trying to superimpose your own upon theirs, well, that's just not going to work out for either of you. And that's the crux here. That's the important thing we need to understand. We don't all live in the same reality. Some of you may have caught on to this very popular thing people say where scientifically, and it's true, your brain does not know the difference between the stuff you tell it and what's actually real. They have done countless studies to show the demonstration, the power of suggestion, the power of the placebo effect, the power of visualization, even when it comes to Olympic level athletes and their training. Athletes who visualize their training show as many results, the same level of results as athletes who actually do the training. And more so than athletes that just do things that aren't the training. Fascinating, the mind. And so we have all of this science now that backs up this idea that your reality is literally what you decide. And this concept, while it seems big and far-fetched, is actually not that difficult to digest. Just look at short people, midgets, if you will, and tall people, giants, if you will. They're not living in the same reality. Same sandbox. Yeah, we all play in the same sandbox, right? It's got some basic physical properties, some basic things that are generally pretty hard to shake and bend. Although exceptions exist out there for some of the things we think of as even the most unshakable pieces of fact, which is wild. And all of that exists, as well as versions of reality that just solely reconfirm the most basic, boring, banal, expected version of events. And we have access to all of that, to every version. We live in this wonderful world of alternative facts and alternative realities and crazy ideas, and ideas that hit a point of theory where we have to fill in the gaps and we just get to make up what comes next, because guess what? Science hasn't explained everything yet, and it probably never will. That's what we call magic. So anyway, like I said, tall, short, we get that. we understand that very visually. We understand that, like, sometimes people are just different, right? We have this wonderful intersection of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift going on right now. And the hilarious thing is that the super fans of each of those people would be, generally speaking, in a living hell consuming the fandom of the other. And yet those people can coexist together. Their fans can all live on the same reality, or on the same earth, and inhabit different realities. Some inhabit the ones where going to a massive super concert is a fun time. Others inhabit the ones where going to a massive stadium is a fun time to watch a sports ball game. And others live in the reality where both of those things sound like a fucking nightmare. And that gets a little more difficult for some people to understand. Those deeper level preferential things, introverts, extroverts, but we kind of have a handle on that, right? Some people recharge by going out. Some people like to go into big groups and enjoy partying. Some people recharge at home alone with a book. And the thing is, no matter how much we know or understand that, and how many little, it's tested studies about our personalities we take to teach us who we are and tell us how to feel, sometimes we don't seem to grasp that. We just can't quite wrap our heads around what's going on in someone else's world. A great example of that is my phone phobia. My phone phobia is something my family just does not and will not understand. And it's a phone phobia. It was very validating to me to see this pop up on like a social anxiety test. Apparently that's like a thing. Some people just really don't want to call other people on the phone. Especially not for me, like people I know, I'm like generally okay with, usually, sometimes, I don't know, I haven't tried in a while. It's like making appointments or business related transactions, or like, I haven't called this person before, like, I'm unsure about where our relationship is. And like that weird uncertainty just throws me for a huge loop. And like, here's the thing, I've never had a disaster on the phone. Like when I make myself do it, I make that phone call and I order that goddamn Chinese food like a goddamn pro, and you would never know. And because I can do that, because I'm capable, my family has just decided that this is a ridiculous problem that I need to get over, because they cannot possibly conceive of what could be causing this fear. Now, here's the thing, neither do I. Like I said, I've done this many times with positive results. I just don't like to. I don't want to. I have this visceral need to not, if at all possible. And again, my family will never understand this. They will just keep trying to foist their reality on me and be like, you just got to get over it and make a phone call. I can. It's not that I'm not capable. I just don't want. So now I have a husband who can make all those phone calls for me. Thank you. Because that's the beautiful thing. I have built my reality to my specifications. I have. And even when I bring some of the most weird, outrageous parts of my reality to even my most pragmatic friends, they mostly just go, well, if it works for you. Because here's the thing, my very pragmatic friends are also very accepting. They understand that as we go deeper and deeper into this, some friends of mine have been working for years towards becoming doctors. They are finishing up their last bits of training. They are doing the thing. It's very exciting for them. I sometimes still have nightmares about being in school. Some people love the idea of a 9-to-5, clock in, clock out, don't take your work home with you, live your life the rest of the time. I would rather gouge my own eyes out than do that. And there are plenty of people who feel the same, as evidenced by the growing freelance workforce. And that, you know what? That's great. That's actually wonderful. If we spent more time cultivating and embracing all of those wonderful differences about us, we would have a much easier time living in a rich, full society, and we wouldn't be driving ourselves crazy, getting pissed off why everyone isn't exactly like us, but then when we achieve that, oh wow, there's no innovation anymore. Oh, boo-hoo, how sad. And so here's the thing, when we get deeper and deeper, why does it matter, right? We obviously respect and understand, right, that there are tall people in the world and there are short people in the world. There are fans of certain things in the world and other things in the world. And so we populate a world full of high shelves and low shelves, full of extra long seats on airplanes and you know, ones where you can pay less money and be squished, or not if you're a midget. So we have a beautiful world as we've tweaked it and we've understood, and that's actually been an interesting part of growing civilization, is understanding more and more how to tweak it and design it so that more and more different people fit within this bubble we call the society game. I think we just throw out the society game, but that's for another video. And yet we still don't understand all of those little pieces about it. We don't understand, we don't have reason or rationale for all the little rules, the superstitions, the things that work for you but not for me, for example. And those things, some of those rules, those little magical rules, those superstitious little things that we do, that we have to do, rituals or things we observe, ways we interact with the world that make us feel really, really good. Here's the thing, it does not actually matter if those do anything or not. It does not matter if they move energy around to help us us manifest the life we want. Some people think they do, or whether it does nothing at all. The point is not honoring those things creates an actual, real, palpable anxiety, physical response in your body. And honoring those things does the opposite. It becomes a version of self-care and self-soothing. Now, obviously, living in reality, living in your reality means aligning your reality with the world, the physical properties of the world around you. So, for example, if one of your magical little rules is, I don't care that I haven't even started getting ready and it's going to take 20 minutes to drive there, I can make it in 15. Well, that rule isn't based in any reality that's going to allow you to coexist with anybody whatsoever at all. However, if your rule is, I'm just not a very punctual person, and rather than bending myself backwards and trying to break myself in half for the rest of my life, learning how to be more punctual, look, I'm 33, if it was going to happen, it would happen by now, then I just live in a world where when I absolutely have to be on time for things, I set literally 8,000 alarms. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, okay, literally not actually. It's a misuse of the old definition of the word literally, which I subscribe to. The new definition of the word literally, by the way, look it up. It includes the definition of the word figuratively. So bad on me for leaning into that bit of idiocy. But I digress once again. My whole point is that I have learned that I'm not a very punctual person. I'm just not. And so I live in this magical world where things like being on time does not matter. Sometimes I bump up against the reality, other people's reality, that say it absolutely does. Certain appointments, certain engagements. And so again, I have figured out a way, a little map, a little design in my world to help ping the fact that, hey, time is going on out there and you have to care about it. And the rest of the time, I just don't worry. And I surround myself with other people who are not going to be bothered by my lack of punctuality, because I can do that. That's an option for me. I can just not worry about the people who aren't here for it and only worry about the people who are. That's a luxury we actually get to have when we really take ownership of our reality. We have a whole lot to say about what goes on inside of it. And that's where boundaries come into play. Boundaries are great. And yeah, it totally is acceptable. If I have friends who are like, I just don't accept your lack of punctuality, I don't have to be an asshole to them. I don't have to judge them. Maybe punctuality is very important to them. And all of the things not being punctual does for me, being punctual does for them. That's great. But if my lack of punctuality is going to cause them enough distress that they're going to then in turn cause me distress, then we just need to both accept that and go our separate ways. That's what boundaries are. Boundaries are not telling other people what to do, how to feel, how to act around you. It's not policing other people's behavior in light of you. It's a rule book. It's the rules of your reality. It's here's my playbook. Here's how we play in my sandbox. And if you don't like to play that way in my sandbox, then we can't play in the same sandbox. And that's just that. And based on the situation, you either leave their sandbox or you ask them to leave theirs if you have the right to do that. And that's pretty much, that's it. That's all you really have to do in order to figure this shit out and get along with other people. Yeah, you really can just, when people do not respect your boundaries, it is totally fine to just bye. See you later. Don't need ya. The kids these days, they have this great little phrase called unaliving. I love it. It's just a fancy way of saying you're dead to me. And it's they do it. They do it real good. Like, they're real good at it. They unalive you and they unalive you. And man, more of us need to be unaliving people who don't confirm our realities. Because what we end up doing instead, right, it sounds really cool. Oh my God, unaliving people. What we end up doing instead is actually engaging way too much and pouring way too much negative energy towards those people. And that just reflects and bounces back straight back to, oh yeah, us. Not so great. Not so great when that happens. And so here's the thing, right? Again, it's easier than ever to build the reality you want and live in the reality you want. People are doing it all over the place without permission, without even realizing that they are doing it, which actually is a little bit dangerous when you do that. But hey, no one's stopping them, and they certainly aren't going to be stopping anytime soon. So if you can't beat them, join them. But Jesse, this is just going to make the world fun with your selfish fucks who only care about themselves all the time. No. I mean, it could, I guess, if humanity really does suck deep down at its core. If we want to take that gamble and find out for sure that we're wrong, yeah. Or this just leads to everybody taking better care of themselves, doing a better job of prioritizing their wants and needs, doing a better job of articulating, communicating their wants and needs, building a more comfortable life around themselves, and also probably respecting everyone else's autonomy to do the same because they've worked so gosh darn hard on their own that they now understand the value of that thing. Maybe we'll do that because here's the thing, all right? This, guys, is the rocket science portion of this video. So if you've had a little trouble understanding to this point, you know, all bets are off from here on out because here's the real rocket science here, okay? You do all these things. You worry about yourself. You worry about your reality. You worry about yours truly. That's me. Y'all should be worried about me. That's what I'm really saying. Now, you worry about yourself. You do all those things, and you make yourself a happier person. And happier people are generally nicer to everyone else. Better world. Is it really that simple? Yeah, it is. I've found actually that the best, most valuable lessons in life, in anything, in all of your studies, in all of your works, in all of your creative pursuits, whatever you're doing, in your introspection, the most valuable lessons are so incredibly simple. They're just really fucking hard to do. So try. Wake up every day and decide, are you going to worry about what everyone else is doing? Are you going to worry about all of the things you have been told you need to worry about? Or are you going to worry about you? Are you going to worry about what makes you happy and makes you feel good? Are you going to worry about striking the balance of being able to live your life comfortably and live life according to your rules? Because I really can't think of a more useful thing to do with your time aside from that. And this video is for you who are hearing this and who are saying, yeah, Jesse, you're right. That's what I need to do. That's what we're here for. That's what we're going to be here for from here on out. And so if you're like, oh my God, Jessie finally got off the deep end. I was there for her when she said we should kill those people and that. If you don't fuck redheads, you're a Nazi. But this, man, just love yourself and you'll love everyone else bullshit. Man, I just can't. Then, go live in your reality somewhere else. It doesn't actually affect me. And when you do participate in someone else's reality, think just for a moment, what imprint do you want your reality to leave on theirs? Because that's going to go a whole long way in dictating how much your reality grows or how much it just bumps up against everyone else's boundaries. So yeah, just some food for thought. I'll be back to yell more stuff at you. Oh! It would have been made sense to say this earlier, but I have another channel now. It's Milestone Music. There'll be links. It's my new channel where I play music, and I'm just going to play music there. So that's all I'm going to do over there. And so if you don't like anything else about me except my singing voice, then go over there. And if you like everything about me, including that, then go over there. And if you don't like that, then don't. Cool. Anyway, just remember, guys, practice makes wrong. And until next time, God Empress out.